You're checking out a Mornings with Lone Star podcast. Don't forget, I, Dick Schissler, your morning DJ, is live every weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and online at irlonestar.com with your morning radio show, Mornings with Lone Star, with weather and traffic at the top and bottom of every hour, and taking song requests on our Facebook page. If you want to be a guest on my show or sponsor Mornings with Lone Star, just contact me online at dick@irlonestar.com or call the station at 936-647-5747. Now, before we get to the interview on the podcast, I want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors of Mornings with Lone Star. For your morning coffee craves, or pretty much all-time coffee craves, make sure to check out Conroe Coffee at 206 North Main in downtown Conroe, Texas. And again, a very special thank you to the sponsors of Mornings with Lone Star. Now, the interview from Mornings with Lone Star. All right, Mornings with Lone Star here on irlonestar.com, 906. Hanging out in the studio in downtown Conroe, Texas. If you got a question or comment, visit us on Facebook, Mornings with Lone Star. And the weather today and traffic, let's do that. And then we'll get to our special guests, of course. Right now it's 78 degrees outside. Humidity is around 90%. There's a 20% chance of thunderstorms and rain today, folks, after 10 a.m. Other than that, it'll be partly sunny with a high of 94 and a low of 73. Traffic conditions in the Montgomery County area, everything looks good to go. I do not see any congestion, which is somewhat not normal on I-45. If you're heading down to Houston, you're going to be in luck all the way till you hit the 610 loop, and then you're going to run into some trouble. Other than that, you're good to go. Northbound I-45, you're all right. There might be some congestion over there in New Waverly on 75, but that's kind of somewhat normal all the way before Huntsville. It is 9:07. I'm hanging out in the studio, and if you didn't know, I'm Mornings with Lone Star. I also have some guests come in time to time. You can be a guest, too. Just contact me, dick@irlonestar.com, and we just talk about local things and also things that are going around town and all that good stuff, because it is the 4th of July coming up. There's a lot of opportunities for 4th of July, and we'll be talking about more of that, about that later. But right now, we have Mario Rivers in the studio, and I want to say good morning to you. How you doing?
I'm good. Grateful to be here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's good. It's interesting to get someone like you in. If you want to look Mario up online, go to mdriversbooks.com. That's mdriversbooks.com. He wrote a book about keeping it 100, and I'm really interested to hear about what that means. And then also, it's more about relationships and life coaching kind of thing. So to give you an idea about the book. And it's always fun to learn more about these folks who dedicate their time to helping people in their relationships and in their lives. So the book is out. You can buy it pretty much anywhere, correct? You can correct me all the time.
Yes, sir. You can buy it on Amazon. It's on Barnes & Noble, iBookstore if you have an iPhone app, and about 50 other online retailers. Just Google it.
It's called Keeping It 100.
Yes, The Truth, Keeping It 100, The Blueprint to Relationships. Or you can just Google my name, Mario Rivers.
Mario Rivers. There you go. Now, let's just jump right into the title.
Sure.
And talk a little bit about like that, if you don't mind. Well, before that, actually, let's get to know you a little better. How about that? You're North Houston.
I am.
Right there south of 1960.
Right around the Ritchie area, yeah. 45 in Ritchie area.
And have you been living there your entire life, or
I haven't?
Is that where your homes? Or is that where your parents reside?
I'm actually from the southeast side of town. So
wow, okay.
Maybe not
like Pasadena or what?
Not Pasadena, around Cullen, Yellowstone, that area.
Yeah. All right.
So southeast Houston, around that area is where I was born and raised. Then I left about 17 here and joined the military when I was 17. So I hadn't been home for a while. I came back in about 2007, and I've been staying on the northwest side of town since then.
Okay.
Around the area, around about the northwest area.
He wrote a book.
Yeah, I did.
I think it's amazing when people have the time and the discipline to put their words to paper, and then also in a uniform fashion to where it has a binding of a book. So I'm guessing you wrote this book over the span, of like what, 10 years, 20, like 5 years.
The thing is that this book was actually an accident, and
don't tell other future writers that. They get pissed. Like, I've been writing writer's block for 2 years. Oh, it's an accident.
Well, that's okay, because I'll make them happy by I took the time to actually publish it. That took a couple years, so I did do my due diligence there. But no, it was actually an accident, and my premise has always been to help people. So This came about for that exact reason, you know. And when I was in the military, I used to answer a lot of questions about relationships, and it was kind of weird. I guess people felt like I was somebody they could confide.
Yeah,
in.
give me. I mean, because you seem very nice, and you show me both your hands, so it means you're not trying to attack me or anything like that. But what's interesting is that does happen to people when they do find some weird reason to confide in you,
Right.
And you were telling me your background is your father's a minister or pastor or whatever way they like to label it.
He is.
And then, so your family grew up in that relationship building kind of exercise every day.
They did. Yeah, it was something that you lived in. And you asked me before we got on the air about if I put some religious undertones there. I didn't try to, but I think the way, you know, we're brought up has something to do with the way we write or live or anything like that. So there's probably a little bit of that in there, as far as
you can't escape your past.
Right, you're right about that. It determines.
It bleeds through sometimes.
It does.
Well, no. So with that history, and you talk about relationships, people came to you and just kind of talked about all sorts of types of things. I imagine, not just boy girl or like significant other relationship. It's more of family, sister, brother.
You know, the weird thing, Dick, is that lots of them. I was 17 at the time, or between 17 and 19, and during that time, these are folks that are married, that have been with their wives for several years, and a lot of people don't realize the challenges that exist when you're in the military. You're gone from home a long time, your kids don't see you for a while, and so that creates a little bit of stress. And needless to say, some of the wives find it difficult to be away from their husbands for that long, and so I was learning things, but it was amazing to me that they were asking me, who had no experience being married, but a lot of times after I gave them advice, they would come back and tell me, hey, I appreciate that. It actually helped make things better. And again, at that time, I wasn't purposely trying to write a book, but I had started documenting some of those things that we talked about, and years later, it turned into a book. So I guess you could say I did write it over 10 years, I guess.
Yeah, keeping it 100. So let's touch on that then. What's the title for?
The title. First of all, the phrase "keeping it 100" simply means to be truthful with your mate, to be honest, to be transparent.
So like 100%.
100%.
Okay.
Exactly. And you've courted before, and when you first meet somebody, you're on your best behavior. You don't show your true colors per se, because you don't possibly want to run the person off if you're attracted to them. So we all create this person that we want them to think we are when we first meet. And this book is basically on how you can be yourself, and you don't have to put up a facade. You can be yourself and be comfortable, and there's a way to do that and not scare the person away, basically. And it's about building, building from, if you start things off the right way, it'll be much easier down the line. You don't have to, they don't have to guess who you are. And that's what happens a lot of times. We meet people and we think they're one way, and then some time passes and we realize they aren't the person who we thought they were. And so that's what this book focuses on, is basically the root of these issues, how to prevent these things from happening as time passes. So that's what the title is about, just being truthful.
Okay. Hey, I know you discussed that you want to give away.
I do.
And how are we going to go about giving away a couple copies of this book?
Well, I was thinking about it, and I would say you just asked me a question about the title, and folks can they can type in on Facebook maybe 2 words, which is to be truthful. They can type in be truthful, and the first 3 people who type in be truthful and send it to your Facebook page, you can tell them your Facebook page.
Yeah, Mornings with Lone Star, or you have one too.
I do have one.
Mario Rivers does.
Yes, you can actually just Google my name.
It's all right there, folks. And I'll be posting this question too on, and you can listen to the podcast too. If you're listening to the podcast, you still got time to. Maybe you got to ask Mario. Visit him online, like I said, at mdriverbooks.com, or just
MD Rivers
MD
with an
Rivers,
S. MD Rivers Books.
Books.com
Yes.
or Mario Rivers on Facebook, and it's just Google it. So that's cool. That's a good opportunity. We're giving away 3 books.
Three ebooks.
Ebooks. Okay.
Yes,
so that's
ebooks.
So I never actually read an ebook. Are they any different from just open up a Word document, or do I have to have a program?
No, actually, I have the book in several different formats. So for people who have Nook readers, it's in that format. For people who have iPhones or iPads, it's in that format as well. And Kindles, and a PDF for people who don't have any of those and they just read it on their computer.
Cool.
And, so any way that you like to consume this book, you can get it that way. So I read a lot on my phone. Actually, I carry. Everybody carries around their phone, but they don't always carry around the physical book. Although I'm old fashioned, so I still like the physical copy. That's available too if you want that too. Again, you can check that out on Amazon.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about with the book?
Yes. What I want to say is that relationships are sometimes messy. They're sometimes messy, and a lot of people, they want to have a great relationship, but sometimes we just don't know how to get there. So in the book, I lay out practical steps that you can take to get there in a way that you can practice. And again, there's no perfect relationship. That we all have issues. We're all imperfect, and so that creates sometimes a mess. When you try to get 2 people on the same path and they have 2 different personalities or different outlooks on life, different experiences, I teach them how to overcome those. A lot of us have bad experiences, right? You meet somebody, you think they're one way, and then a couple years down the road, you're disappointed. And so I'm trying to help people avoid making those type of mistakes and to help them build quality relationships for longevity, because that's what helps our communities out and helps our children out, is when we have those solid foundations, and that's what this book is based on, really.
Well, now that brings on the question of are you in a relationship?
I am. I'm married. I've been with my wife for 8 years.
And how does she feel about you telling other people what to do?
She's supportive of that, and I think she knows my heart. Matter of fact, she's like my buffer, because my wife thinks I'm too kind. She thinks that sometimes I let people take advantage of me. So she's that that buffer that keeps people from taking advantage of me. So she's always said I have a helping heart, a giving heart, and maybe that's one of the things that she wishes I would kind of not be. So
she should write another book about keeping it 99.
I'm not sure, but she's very supportive of what I do. She knows that I'm helping people out, and often she gives me material to write about. Because she tries to actually help some young women, because she mentors a few young women at our church and a few schools too. So she's done some work like that. She always posts motivational posts, so she actually gives me a lot of material to write about. And people want to get married. I don't think people are afraid of marriage. I think they're afraid of making the wrong investment in a person, giving their time, sacrificing their money, and things like that. And I think everybody wants that relationship. It's just maybe some people's experiences have turned them off from it, and they're hurt, scarred. But I teach people how to get past that in the book, how to overcome their past, when they want to put a guard up on their heart because they've been hurt. I actually talk about how you can overcome those things and triumph and move forward. So there's a lot of different areas in the book. And that's really baggage claim. Chapter 7 talks about that, carrying extra baggage, extra hurts, attitudes, things like that, how you can move on from it.
Keeping It 100 with Mario Rivers. Look it up online, Mario Rivers. We're giving away 3 ebooks. If you answer the question, what does Keeping It 100 mean? Right. And if you want to answer that, you can answer that on Mornings of the Lone Star's Facebook, or just visit Mario Rivers online on his Facebook, or, of course, check out his book at Amazon and all other places in physical form, but in ebook form. Mario, thank you so much for coming in and being part of the morning show.
Thanks for having me, Dick. I really appreciate it.
And good luck, and I bet we'll be seeing more of you. And
hopefully.
And you are listening to Mornings of the Lone Star on irlonestar.com, Montgomery County's morning radio show. It is 9:19. We're going to get back to the music. If you got a song request, all you got to do is let us know on Twitter, Facebook, and also DICK at irlonestar.com. Coming up at 10 o'clock, of course, kicking off the talk block will be Cindy Cochran with The Cindy Cochran Show, so stay tuned. You're listening to Mornings of the Lone Star.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schissler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schissler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.